welcome to the latest episode of the Racing PodBlast with me, Tony Mack, and Ben Aiken from Narrow in the Field. And we're off to Cheltenham this week, covering 3 races from Saturday's action of the Cheltenham Christmas meeting, including the big race of the day, the December Gold Cup. And we have our PodBlast Racing news segment, a satirical look at some of the racing headlines from recent days. That's later though. First up, some analysis, starting with the Class 3 Mares Handicap chase, due off at 1:15 on Saturday. Ben, good morning, and can you start us off on that one, the 1:15 Saturday?
Yeah, good morning, Tony. Yeah, the Mares Handicap chase, a chunky 16 runners set to go to post for this Mares chase. Worth a quick look at the pace here, as the 2 mile 4 chase trip at Cheltenham does offer up a couple of pointers we can factor in, especially in fields of 14 or more on ground with cut in it. Front runners show a positive impact value, while those that are held up out the back show up extremely poorly on the impact value metric. So I'd be a little wary of those that are likely to be sitting right out the back, and I'd be looking twice at those that are likely to be sitting up on the front end in this race. Looking at the ggs.co.uk pace maps, the likely front runners in this would appear to be It's Easy, I Love the Nightlife, and possibly She Is For Me Boys. And I'd have one of those on my shortlist, She Is For Me Boys, along with Callista Love and Party Vibes. She Is For Me Boys is the least exposed runner in the field with only 4 previous starts, only one of those coming over fences. That was last time out when she was a comfortable winner at Kempton, with 3 of today's rivals behind her in 2nd, 3rd and 4th. At 3rd placed It's Easy boosted the form with a 40-length win on her next start. And She Is For Me Boys trainer Jamie Snodden does well with his chasers in the early part of their career, especially with 5 to 7-year-olds in handicap chases that are having their first or second chase start, are ridden by Gavin Sheehan and start at less than 8 to 1 since 2021. Jamie Snodden returns stats with those types of 20 winners and 5 placed from 49 runners. 41% win strike rate, 51% win and play strike rate, over 33 points profit. She Is For Me Boys meets those stats, and she looks a big player in this. Callista Love is another likely race type, coming off a win last time out. That came at Warwick last month on her chasing debut. She was only put up £3 for that win, which I thought was lenient enough, and she should still have a bit to play with on the handicap in front yet. Small concern that she was held up last time out, but she generally sits a bit closer to the pace, and she was knocked back early in that Warwick race when hampered at the second, so I suspect they'll sit handier in this. Callista Love. And Party Vibes for Henry Daly and Santos and Davies is the other on my shortlist. She had a tune-up over hurdles at Bangor last month, and she'll come on for that spin. She's 0 from 3 on seasonal debut, and there's every chance that was nothing more than a warm-up for this race. She gets her prime conditions to attack here. Class 3 or less on the break of 21 to 56 days, where she is 4 wins from 5 starts. She's also 2 from 2 in December, and does seem to come alive at this time of year. And Party Vibes is one of 2 I'll be backing in this, along with She Is For Me Boys. Party Vibes is around the 14 to 1, 16 to 1 mark, which I think is really decent value given she has conditions to suit. And She Is For Me Boys is around 9 to 2, 5 to 1, which also looks decent, as I think she could be a good way ahead of her mark. So Party Vibes and She Is For Me Boys are my 2 in this. Tony, what you got for this Mares Handicap chase?
I like that. I do like I Love the Nightlife. Has taken well enough to fences with 2 good seconds this season. Showing resolution and a decent level of pace, to be honest with you, and first time blinkers could eke out another few pounds, proven around this sort of trip, and if her jumping holds up, she has definite place claims for me. And but the 2 I'm going for here is San Doctor for in the colours of JP McManus, Neil Mulholland and Richie McClellan. in the saddle there. Sand Doctor, likeable, a very genuine mare with a classy chasing profile, often seen forcing the pace and grinding rivals down, stays further, so this trip round Cheltenham should be ideal. I think she may possibly, last couple of runs have been racing prominently or mid-division, up in the weights in a competitive race, but her attitude and experience makes her a serious contender for me. Distance winner as well, Sand Doctor, around 10-1. Grey Val as well has been backed for Fergal O'Brien. He likes aiming these horses at the early Cheltenham meetings, October, November, and this Christmas meeting, New Year's Day as well. He aims a couple at New Year's Day meeting as well. He's a course winner over a similar trip as well. Over hurdles, quietly developed into a useful mare over both codes, stays well, travels strongly, and has already won a valuable mare's hurdle here. Now trying to transfer that form fully to fences, and a current mark leaves room for a little bit of manoeuvre there for Grey Val. So I'll be looking at Grey Val and Sand Doctor in that 115. 150 December Gold Cup is a handicap over 2 miles, 4.5 furlongs. What do you fancy in this, Ben?
Yeah, the December Gold Cup, it's a race that has some strong race trends to work with. The last 12 winners all passing the following 3 race trends. Running off a break of 20 to 42 days. The last win came in a chase at Class 1, 2 or 3 level, over further than 2 miles, but no further than 2 mile 5. And we're running from a mark at least £3 higher than their last winning mark. 3 meet those trends this year. Colonel Harry, S Perfecto and Ga Law. I'd also pull Vincenzo onto my shortlist. Colonel Harry comes here off the back of a 2-length win in the Grand Sefton over the national fences last month, and he's still relatively unexposed as a handicapper. This is only his 5th start in a handicap company, and I don't think the £4 rise for his entry win will be enough to anchor him. He meets with his prime conditions here. October to January, trips shorter than 3 miles and away from Grade 1 level, where he is 5 wins in 2 seconds from 8 starts, which are all 5 of his career wins. And he's high in my thoughts is Colonel Harry. S Perfecto pulled up in the Paddy Power Gold Cup last month. He was still going well, jumping 3 out, but faded out of it after 2 out. Probably just ran out of steam up the hill on soft ground after being a little bit free in the early stages. He does tend to run well over the Cheltenham fences, and if the ground stays good to soft or quicker, then he could snatch a place on good to soft or quicker, over 2 mile 5 or less and away from graded level. He has 4 wins and 5 places from 11 starts, and he could well outrun his odds. S Perfecto. Galaw, he's been winless since January 2024, a losing run of 10, but he's only had his prime conditions twice in that period. And he finished second on both those runs where he met with his prime conditions. And he does get his prime conditions on Saturday. Trips of 2 mile 3 to 2 mile 5, tracks with undulations, not grade 1 level, and a mark of 155 or less, where he is 5 wins in 2 seconds from 7 starts. That's all 5 of his career wins. A good, soft or quicker will also be a positive, as he's yet to win a slower than good to soft. And Gal Law is another who could outrun his lofty odds. And Vincenzo was the other on my shortlist. He finished second in the Paddy Power Gold Cup last month when sent off as favourite. That was his first run for 259 days. And he's 0 from 6 off breaks of more than 42 days. So I'd expect him to be a bit sharper here with that run under his belt. Off breaks of 21 to 42 days, Vincenzo is 3 wins in 2 places from 7 starts. And he's still got mileage as a chaser, this being only his 6th start over fences, and Vincenzo is very much in the picture for me. And Vincenzo is one of 2 I'm going to play in the race, the other being Colonel Harry. They're the 2 progressive types on my shortlist. So Vincenzo at around 92 and Colonel Harry at around 7-1, 8-1 for me. Tony, December Gold Cup, what you got?
Yeah, I like Vincenzo, Ben. Progressed nicely through last season, returned with a good second, travelling strongly just before being edged out. The business end of affairs steps into a deeper waters now, but shapes as if this trip and track will suit natural improvement. could be very competitive from this mark. I'm pleased you put him up. My two each way that I've also put up on TalkSport. Imperial Saint, highly consistent handicap chaser who mixed it in good company last season, returns here off a workable mark. Shaped better than the bare effort when favourite last time. Stays this trip well and has tactical speed for Cheltenham. Each way possibilities for me from Philip Hobbs and Johnson Whiteyard, who are going well, and Richard Johnson Racing as well, who own it. Nice little package there. Richard Johnson back with Philip Hobbs. Imperial Saint, beaten favourite last time out as well. Remember at Aintree on seasonal debut in the Old Run Chase as well. Disappointed there, finishing 5th to 7, but I think he can bounce back tomorrow. And your old pal as well, Ben, Il Ridotto, Paul Nicholls, Harry Cobden, regular in these big handicap chases at Cheltenham, often running on late on without landing the prize. Really, current mark looks workable on his best form, and he's a sound jumper. He'll get round. Now I've said that. Needs a strong pace to bring stamina into play, and I think he can finish in the first 3 or 4, with some firms paying 4 places. Needs a strong pace, but I think he has solid place claims once again. Il Ridotto and Imperial Saint for me in that 150. Right now, it's time for the latest instalment of the PodBlast Racing News, a satirical look at some racing headlines from recent days, and it's over to Dave Carslake. Over to you, Dave.
All right, I'm Dave Carslake, and here's this week's Racing News Blast. Dan Skelton, Big Dan, expressed rage and bewilderment with racing authorities after being fined £1,000 for the late arrival of oils into the paddock last Saturday. Me footy pal, Big Dunk, told me that Big Dan was pure raging and going half his nut at the whopping fine. Explaining what happened, Big Dan said the oils can be a little lot, so we tacked him up in the main stables, which led to him being late into the parade ring. That's not actually true though. What actually happened was that some Cockney white boy, who might have been me, was pestering Big Dan, trying to get him to admit that he is indeed the love child of Paul Nicholls. Big Dan furiously denied it, but it caused him to be late into the parade ring with his horse. Sorry about that, Big Dan Nicholls. Sorry, I meant Skelton. Rachel Blackmore was honoured with the Contribution to the Industry Award at Horse Racing Ireland's annual ceremony on Monday night. Introducing her to the stage, host Jane Mangan barked, "It's Beyonce, it's Madonna, it's Rachel." Now, I'm as big a fan of those 3 ladies as the next geezer. And if you said to me, Beyonce is coming round for a cuppa, I'd know who you were talking about. If you said to me, Madonna is coming round for a cuppa, I'd know who you were talking about. But if you said Rachel is coming round for a cuppa, I'm not sure Rachel Blackmore would be the first Rachel that springs into my head. I'd probably be thinking Rachel from Friends, or Rod Stewart's ex-missus Rachel Hunter, or Rachel Riley from Countdown, or Rachel Stevens from S Club 7. Yeah, definitely Rachel from S Club 7. She's always been my favourite Rachel. And finally, Frankie Dettori, the second most famous Italian, after Mario from the Super Mario Brothers, well, maybe third most famous Italian, after Pavarotti and Super Mario. I suppose Galileo is pretty famous and all, and the Ferrari bloke, and Gianfranco Zola, and the fashion geezer, Armani. Anyway, Frankie Dettori is getting ready for the first leg of his 29th attempt at retiring from racing by riding in Buenos Aires this weekend. Frankie has said he's determined not to embarrass himself. I mean, it's a bit late for that, Frankie, son. There was your booger sugar Charlie Ban. That time you went on I'm a Celebrity and got kicked out first. Then that time you went bankrupt. And remember when you celebrated too soon in a Nunthorpe when you thought you'd won it, but you hadn't. Then that time you went on a summer-long tour telling everyone you were retiring, but you didn't actually retire. Embarrass yourself? Yeah, you'll be alright, me old mugger. I wouldn't worry about it. That's this week's Racing News Blast. I'm Dave, like Madonna. Now back to Elvis and Prince. Pick us some winners, lads.
Thank you, Dave. Absolutely great stuff. Jane Mangan. Oh, lordy. And Frankie's absolutely right there about Frankie's retirement. Nope, he doesn't embarrass himself. Bit late for that, Frankie boy.
That horse is bolted.
About 5 years ago. 225 at Cheltenham. BetMGM handicap chase. Please, you didn't do the full title there, Ben. Class 2 handicap over 2 miles and half a furlong. You can put her in the next one as well. That's the 225. What do you fancy for this one? 225 at Cheltenham Saturday.
Yeah, the BetMGM handicap chase. I got the 9 runners down to just 2. Accelero and Triple Trade. Accelero, one of the least exposed in the field as a chaser, and he comes here after winning at Warwick last time out on only a second chasing start. It was only a 3-runner affair, but he won it impressively. And the pro form speed figure he recorded tells me it was a slightly above par effort for the grade. So despite not beating much, he did it in a strong time. It does look a solid piece of form. He'll meet with conditions he enjoys on Saturday. Good to soft or soft ground on a break of 11 to 60 days, where he is an unbeaten 4 wins from 4 starts. And his trainer, Jane Williams, has some strong stats with similar last time out winners as Accelero. If you look at Jane Williams' 3-year-old to 7-year-olds at Class 2 level or below, in the October-February period that won last time out, and are returning off a break of 60 days or less, you get stats of 18 wins and 8th place from 40 runners, 45% win strike rate, 65% win and play strike rate, over 24 points profit. So I can see plenty of positives for Accelero. Triple Trade also won last time out, winning the 2-mile handicap at the Cheltenham November meeting. The £5 race he got for that win still keeps him below his handicap ceiling. And he again gets his prime conditions to attack here. A mark of 135 or less, a handicap worth 35 grand or less, a field of 11 or less, and wearing no headgear or tongue tie. Under those conditions, Triple Trade is 6 wins and 4 places from 13 starts. That's all 6 of his career wins. He came 4th in this race last year from a £2 higher mark, but that was a stronger race than this renewal. And I think he looks a potential player again at a track he enjoys, Triple Trade. I have no real desire to try and split that 2 on my shortlist, so I'm going to play them both. Accelero at around 4-1.92 and Triple Trade at around 13-2. So Accelero and Triple Trade for me. Tony, what have you got for this handicap chase at 225?
Yeah, I'm not going to let Triple Trade go this time. Course and distance winner arrives in good heart after decisive success last time. I was absolutely spitting feathers when I saw him winning that last time. That boosted confidence following a consistent spell in strong handicaps, well suited by a true end-to-end gallop, I think, and likely to be played late. He looks a definite each-way consideration here. I was toying with the idea whether to go with JPR1, but what I'm going to do is Gunsight Ridge, which I actually put up for this race, for the November race, the Veterans Chase, finishing 4th, beaten 23 lengths behind Eldorado Allen, and he was the 7-2 joint favourite there. I was very, very disappointed in Gunsight Ridge, but he's back in this race, and hopefully with a bit of a chance. He's likely raced in recent seasons, tricky to train, but his Sandown win last winter shows there's still a decent engine there. Needs to step forward again after his reappearance and prove he is as effective at Cheltenham, but yet lurks on a workable looking mark for me. So Gunsight Ridge, and I'm with you with Triple Trade as well, Ben, tomorrow in that 225. Ben, thanks very much for joining us. Thanks for listening to the latest edition of the Racing PodBlast, and very best of luck with all your Cheltenham bets this weekend, everyone. And if we don't see you before Christmas, have a good one and enjoy yourselves. All the very best to you, Ben.
And you, Tony.
And thanks very much, and we'll see you all again soon.